Oh. Okay, I get it. Let me fucking refill your bowl. We sat on the bold rocks of plum wine and we watched the fog roll in, swallow the bridge on the bay. Are you asking about the headline, Kelly? Are you asking about the title? We'll get into it. We're not going to get into it just yet, but we'll get into it. What an awful question. You ever fart on weed and smoke it? What an awful second question to notice. What an absolutely repugnant second question to notice. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. I wish I'd been able to do a fire. Maybe my if my battery gets up to 60%, we'll go do a fire. You ever shave your head? No. No interest in shaving my head. With this beautiful, luscious hair? No, I don't think so. Not likely. Loser? Wait, so you're sitting around just like idly watching a loser because you got nothing better to do? Is that what you're telling me? We are Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I know. You guys are all a bunch of zombies. One of your number dies and you all go like, I'm Charlie Kirk now. I get it. Listen, I knew before you told me that the right wing was a bunch of zombies, okay? I knew before you told me that you guys were one hive mind. What am I? I am a mystery to the gods and a nuisance to man. I am the wind in the sawgrass. I am the breeze in the trees. The sound of the trickling brook as it cascades down off the mountain. No, you! You're the hive mind! I'm not the one idly going around worshiping some dude that just died, as if his death gave him some kind of divine power, as if his death made him some kind of wonderful figure we all need to lionize. Half of you motherfuckers didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was last week. Half of you motherfuckers had no idea. You know why? Because Charlie Kirk primarily appeals to people my age and younger. So half of you motherfuckers didn't even know. In fact, it's not even people my age that Kirk was really going after. It's people like 10 years younger than me. That was his main audience was people, between 16 to 22. I'm 27, so I'm about 5 years older than the older half of his like primary audience. He had 1 million followers. I watched him all the time. He had a lot more than 1 million, but that's still not everybody. And that's still not nearly as many people are acting like they had some kind of deep personal love for Charlie Kirk these days. You guys that are acting in here like this right now, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. And I'll tell you why I don't buy it. I guess there's a couple of reasons why I don't buy it. And the main reason I don't buy it, honestly, is the fact that if you guys actually gave this much of a shit about Charlie Kirk, this wouldn't be my first time hearing about it. I would have had people asking me in the chat all the time about Charlie Kirk. If he was actually as popular as his death in popularity makes it seem like. A bunch of you guys are literally just jumping on this man's death because you see it as a good opportunity to get an own on the left. You guys think that it's automatically a good opportunity to get an own on somebody on the left, or the left in general, because you haven't been able to get any owns on us in conversation. You're incapable of beating us in debate or anything like that, and so you are like gunning. You've been waiting for an excuse for years and years and years to officially make it illegal to be leftist. And now you guys are getting your wish. I mean, not immediately, but boy, if it doesn't look like that's the direction we're headed down, that's some frightening times. A man known for his positions on freedom of speech, his death has actually caused a giant movement against freedom of speech. How about that? Could it be that the right wing doesn't actually give a single solitary oodle or fuck about Charlie Kirk, and that they're actually concerned? What they're actually concerned with is using this as an opportunity to put political pressure on their opponents and to introduce political repression to their opponents? Leftists are getting fired because he owned you. Leftists are getting fired because he owned you. No, leftists are getting fired because a bunch of people decided to dox a bunch of lefties for having the wrong opinion. And you guys have fucking introduced, you guys have wormed your way into so many fucking halls of power. You guys have wormed your way into so many institutions and frameworks that at this point, there are a bunch of people in positions of relative power that are able to fire somebody because they had the wrong opinion. You guys were all against that shit when it was the left doing it. Oh man, you guys were all fucking against this shit back when it was gay bakeries, right? You remember that? Back when it was gay wedding cakes and Christian bakeries, you guys were all fucking types of against this shit. You guys were all anti someone being fired for their political beliefs back when it was a baker that might get fired for not baking a wedding cake for a gay baker or for a gay wedding. But now that it's lefties getting fired for having the wrong opinion on Charlie Kirk, you're totally fine with it. Funny how that works. Funny how that works, isn't it? Funny how the turnaround comes so quickly. Make sure you guys hit that like button, by the way. Every single time you hit that like button, there's another chance to send the stream out to even more people, which increases the quality of your viewing pleasure by increasing the number of people who engage the chat. And engaging in the chat is the main point. And speaking of engaging in the chat, if you want to make absolutely sure that your question gets answered or your comment gets read, consider sending a super chat. I do read every single one as long as it doesn't violate TOS. Let me just turn on a couple of things to hopefully filter out some of the spam, maybe. I hate having to set these settings on the fly. There we go. That should protect us from most of the spam. Reapy-doo. Since I got a lot of MAGA people watching, what the fuck was that? What was that about? When Trump said, reapy-doo. What was that about? Cakes, Cancelled, debate, shit, proved my point. You don't even make sense. You don't even make enough sense for me to know how to formulate a reply against you. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. You're literally incapable of spelling, and you want to come at me like you've got some kind of intense argument, like I failed you with my debate skills. Motherfucker, you didn't bring me a debate. You didn't bring me anything worth giving a fucking any kind of solid response to in the first place. If we go read your first fucking super chat, you said leftists are getting fired because he owned you. And my response was, no, leftists are getting fired because the right hypocritically decided to introduce a policy of doxing. And trying to get leftists fired for having the wrong opinion on Charlie Kirk, which, for the record, was exactly what the right wing used to rail against. The right wing used to rail against it constantly, the concept of people getting fired for their political beliefs. Anytime it's a right winger for whom that is, anytime it's a right winger that is targeted for that kind of harassment, they're all fucking pissed about it. They act like America's just under attack and like freedom of speech is under attack, like our very constitutional rights are under attack. And when it's like actually systemic, when they actually want to make this into an entire website, an entire foundation meant to coalesce leftists and people who disagreed with Charlie Kirk's line on shit and turn them into their employers to hopefully get them fired for saying the wrong thing online. You guys are such fucking massive walking contradictions. You guys are such massive fucking hypocrites. That's a pretty fucking skilled, in my opinion, that's a pretty fucking skilled response to the notion that lefties are getting fired because of something Charlie Kirk did. Charlie Kirk had nothing to do with the fact that there's a bunch of leftists getting fired, other than him dying and people using it to do that. Let's see. Brittany sent in $2 and said, super hungry watching this. Oh, I bet. I mean, I probably look pretty delicious, Man, I don't even know what that was about, but thanks for the $2. Thanks for the $2. Sorry that happened, or whatever. You said, hey, I'll try to read it again, but fuck, man. Fuck. Shot censorship canceled. Okay, cool. Yay. Good on you, or sorry that happened, or yeah. Make sure you guys hit that like button, by the way. It really does help. Every single time you hit that like button is a chance to send the stream out to even more people, which increases the quality of your viewing pleasure by increasing the number of people who engage in the chat. So please hit that button now. It really does help. Half of you guys hit that button right now, we would have like 114 likes instantly. So please hit that button. It really does help. I really appreciate it. Yes, indeed. World War III happens, you get eaten. You guys love to fucking think of yourselves as like the ultimate victors in any kind of violent situation, but most of the people I've ever heard making that kind of argument were fat as fuck. Or they're motherfuckers that look and act just like me. Mostly fucking sedentary, fat motherfuckers that probably haven't shot something in 5 years. You motherfuckers are not prepared for violence the way you think you are. Very few of you are. Very, very few of you. And the fact that you're just so willing to like march headlong into that life proves a complete fucking disconnection to what being in any kind of like intense situation like that is like. I don't think anybody that had ever fucking actually like I can't see how anyone who's ever had like anybody who's ever read anybody who's ever read the account of a World War II veteran or a World War I veteran or anything like that, I can't imagine how anybody comes away from a record of somebody's wartime experience and comes away thinking, yeah, I think we should honestly let's head that direction as a country. You guys are retarded. You guys are ridiculous. Y'all ain't thinking this shit through. I know there's this meme on the right wing that all the guns are owned by the righties, but it's just not the fucking case. Far be it from me to get in the way of a good delusion, though. 8 years in the 82nd? Well, you might be prepared then, but most of the people with your rhetoric are not. And you assuming that you're just going to find a bunch of other conservative veterans is also, at least in my experience, mistaken. I have met just as many lefty fucking veterans as I have conservative ones. It doesn't seem like serving in the military has much of an effect on your political leaning. At least from my experience. Can we ban this fucking motherfucker that just keeps spamming shit in all caps? Can we be rid of his dumbass? Please? Thanks. I got any Jannies around? Thank you, Riley. Thank you, Riley. I've seen no one looking lime you that serves my XP. Looking lime you that serves? Huh? Dude, sometimes just the stupidity level I encounter in a conversation is almost enough to make me want to duck out of it. Okay, number one, you realize not everyone on the left is a giant fat ass like me. Number two, of course you didn't see anybody that looks like me serving in the military, because it's the fucking military! You can't be a giant fat ass and be in the fucking military. I know. Big surprise, huh? So yeah, you probably didn't, dumb fuck. But you know what you probably did see, but didn't see it so visibly, because there's only one political affiliation you're allowed to hold openly in the U.S. military? The whole bunch of liberals and leftists that you were serving right next to. You know how I know they exist? Because I've heard so much self-reporting on the matter. I've seen so much self-reporting on the matter. So you can fucking shit in one hand and put all your opinions about how the military is this haven for right-wing conservatives in the other, and see which one fucking fills up first. God, it's like you have to fucking hold people's hand and walk them through the idea. By the way, there's 278 people watching. If half of you guys hit that like button right now, that would be like 135 plus 139. It'd be 139 likes just like that. So double tap your screen or hit that like button. Either way, it helps. Thank you so much. Woke conservatives and military liberals too versus you. Dude, can you please learn how to spell check before you fucking send another super chat, please? Please let it be something I can read without having to translate it. This is painful. This is legitimately painful. I mean, read this shit, y'all. Woe conservatives and military, open parentheses, liberals too, open parentheses, verse you. That's not a sentence. It's just not. Okay? Much as I'd like it to be. But I do appreciate the $2. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the $2. You're welcome to continue sending messages that are badly written. Just know that I'm going to have to translate them, and that's going to make your experience way worse. Spell check. I drink. I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. I can't imagine what about your life would make you want to drink. That's a little joke, see? Now I almost feel kind of bad. There's some drunk veteran sitting around somewhere, sending me $2 at a time to fuck with me. Man, one of us is benefiting incredibly from this exchange. I hope you're getting something out of it too. I hope you're getting some entertainment out of this, if nothing else. Otherwise, I kind of feel a little bad. Hopefully you're a vet that did good things with your money. I've always been of the opinion that part of the reason why people get so fucked up when they come out of the military is because like it fucks them up to a giant degree, and then like obviously the infrastructure for surviving outside of the military without that dynamic and everything is not exactly great. And I feel like there's just some people that don't exactly do good things, because like here's the thing, or like they don't exactly do good things with their money when they get out, because like I've known some veterans who were not, that served like that same amount of time, like 8 or 12 years, something like that. They didn't they weren't discharged with some kind of giant massive rank or something like that, but they ended up building a pretty fucking good life for themselves in the aftermath of that. And I really can't figure out what is the difference. What exactly makes somebody slip through the fingers? It does seem like combat experience has something to do with it. I don't know if that's like statistically borne out, but most of the homeless vets I've ever talked to served in some kind of combat role. Of course, that's also self-reporting, and anybody can claim to be a veteran, you know? Like, I try to discount the ones that seem like they're bullshitting, but you never know. Never, not really. Is this Christian Weston Chandler? No, you can find her and Fairy stream somewhere else. Or whatever her partner's name is. What is her partner's name? Flutter? Yeah. I genuinely want to have a conversation with you and see if we agree on more than we disagree on. Well, come on and hit me with the questions. Hit me with them. I can't always see every single one. And so I always tell everybody, if you want to make sure your comment or question gets answered or read, consider sending a super chat because I read every single one of those. I can't read every single chat that's sent in here, but I can read every single super chat. I could say the same exact thing about you, William. Name an opinion of yours that goes against the right wing. Name an opinion of yours that goes against the like literally just name one. Name an opinion of yours that goes against the fucking mainstream of whatever your political party is or whatever your political affiliation is. You'll have just as difficult time as I would. Although actually I could come up with a few pretty good answers with that question. Where do we go from here as people? Fucking great question. Thank you for the $2, by the way. Where I want us to go to a people is to recognize that speech is not something that people should die over, and that we need to continue to allow people to speak their mind, and that is the way that you get past these giant issues as a country. We need to come together and figure out where we disagree, where we agree, and pursue the issues that we agree on, and pursue a conversation on the issues that we disagree on. That's what I think we should do as a country. What are we going to do as a country? Now that's, I think, a different answer. What are we going to do as a country? Keep failing. Keep falling. The age of America is over. The age of China has begun. I actually really appreciate your witty comebacks, and you seem like a pretty intelligent human. I also love that you're not letting these mean comments get to you. I sub for sure. Well, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I like you can't let the mean comments get to you. That doesn't mean I don't react to the comments. Like you guys saw me crash out a few minutes ago. I mean, it was kind of put on a little bit, but hey, um, whatever. I guess my acting chops are enough for me to convince people I'm real enough times out of enough, you know. But no, I don't know. I like to get passionate about the shit that people say in here, but I would be lying if I told you that I carry it away with me, you know? It's like once I turn the stream off, once the comments are gone, I'm not thinking about them anymore, and I don't think about them again until I start up another stream. Thank you guys for all the super chats tonight so far, by the way. Do not slow down on them, but you guys have been incredibly generous so far tonight. Do you believe in Jesus Christ? No, not as a divine figure, although I do appreciate a lot of what Jesus had to say in terms of his social advocacy. I think that what Jesus wanted human beings to do with their time is pretty noble. I think that Jesus is a divine figure. I mean, that is a bill of sale that nobody has ever given me sufficient evidence that they could deliver on, so I've never accepted it as factual, not in my adult life at least. Now, there's been times in my adult life when I thought it was a more preferable belief, but I'll note that that was also the period of my life where I was experiencing homelessness. You know, like once I got back on my feet, I really didn't feel that way anymore, and that was really my only foray back into Christianity as an adult. But I never thought that like there was any good proof for it or anything. I just made the argument like, well, yeah, I mean, it could be bullshit, but who cares? Like, even if it is bullshit, if it makes me feel better, it makes other people feel better, and it makes society function better, then who cares? Now that I've gotten back on my feet and I'm kind of like able to pay more attention to the news and look around and all that, now I understand just what a danger Christianity is again. But, crazy situations will do that to a motherfucker. There's proof that Jesus rose from the dead? No, there is not. How could you possibly prove such a thing? What's up, Rose? I have noticed you. You have been noticed. I think your reactions are hilarious. It takes thick skin to be on the internet, but your opinions are just as valid. I'm glad you don't falter on that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I try not to. At the very least, I try to hold fast to the things I believe because that's all I can be. Like, ultimately. That's a lie. I could bullshit for sure. I could bullshit, and I could probably make quite a bit of money bullshitting some right-wing position I don't really believe in. But where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? You are wrong. Well, what a fucking splendid argument you've made there. What an elaborate, well-reasoned argument you've given me. You are wrong. Oh my God. You've just blown my fucking mind. Not really. I know for a fact that Jesus loves you. The real one. Well, I appreciate the vote of confidence even if I remain unconvinced of its factuality. Our lives have just changed forever, I know. Nothing can ever be the same now. I think everything just changed. What is the Second Amendment in the U.S. Constitution? The right to bear arms being necessary to the security of a free state. Let me see here. I'm trying to remember the exact text of it because it's written really fucking weird, and I always want to correct it mentally. Actually, I think it starts out with the well-regulated militia thing, doesn't it? It's a well-regulated militia being necessary to the freedom and security of a free state or something like that. Semicolon, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed, or some shit like that. It's been a while since I did my civil, or not my civil rights thing, my Bill of Rights, memorization module or whatever. Dead on. Wait, I nailed it? Did I actually nail it? Did I actually get it right? High school was 30 years ago, right? No. I don't have nearly the excuse some people do. For me, high school was 10 years ago. Damn, where'd all the time go? Fuck. Anyway, what if I told you I was the second coming? You would not be the first. I'll just be honest with you. You would not be the first. You would not be the first second coming to introduce themselves to me as such. I've met several Jesuses. Which of you guys is legit? I have no idea. But I befriend all of you. On the off chance. On the off chance, I'm nice to all of you guys. Because who knows? One of you guys might actually be the second coming. I'm just a fucking simple human. If the story of Christianity is true, I don't know what the fuck is going on, Now, I personally don't choose to believe the story of Christianity because I don't see enough evidence for it. But if the rapture happens and like if it's like Gone Away or that one shitty Christian novel that's like 1,700 pages long or whatever, way fucking long. If it's like Gone Away or whatever, or Gone or whatever the fuck it's called, and planes just start falling out of the sky and people that were really good people just start gone, like being gone and all this other shit, you know, like at that point, I'm going to have no choice but to believe. And at that point, I bet I'm going to be pretty fucking happy that I befriended all these fake Jesuses. Or, because one of them might be the fucking real deal. Of course, I think the Antichrist is supposed to come before the second coming, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, if I remember the book of Revelations correctly, the second coming ain't supposed to be around till the fucking Antichrist, and there's a whole war that happens, and there's like 7 years of tribulation. It's a real nightmarish prospect, and it's a while before Jesus comes back, from my memory. What do you think of Parker Get a Job? He does that. Who? What are you talking about? Who the fuck is Parker? That's because we love you, dummy. See now, like that makes me question things because I don't think Jesus would call me a dummy. I don't think our Lord and Savior would be so flippant. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. After all, what's holding him back, right? Make sure you guys hit that like button, by the way. I haven't been pimping it a whole lot this stream, but hit that like button. It really does help. If half of you guys hit it right now, we would have 100 likes or something like that. 105 plus the fucking 33 we've already got. That would be like 138. That would be amazing. So come on, please hit that like button. It really does help. Every single time you hit that like button, it's a chance to send the stream out to even more people, which increases the quality of your viewing pleasure by increasing the number of people to engage in the chat. Whether you hate me or like me, you should want to hit the like button. Either you want to see more people disagree with me or you want to see more people cheer me on. I'm not a he, Michaela, but I get it. And I mean, that's my thing. I'm just out here speaking my opinion, preaching my gospel, whatever that may mean, you know. You can disagree with it, we can argue, but this idea that I need to be deplatformed for it, Charlie wouldn't have stood for that. Charlie wouldn't have been about that. I mean, he might have actually been, but that's beside the point. His rhetoric isn't about that, you know. Like Charlie Kirk's rhetoric was all about freedom of debate and freedom of speech and all this other shit. Now, granted, he didn't really believe in that when it came to college professors or people in institutions and shit like that. He was all about them being conservative or apolitical, but nothing else. But, you know, at least by rhetoric, if if you're just looking at the rhetoric, Charlie Kirk was a free speech advocate. Yo, what's your name? Phoebe. I just pronounced it. So there you go. Phoebe. It was dumb as shit before, too. Yep. That's like my big take about the Charlie Kirk assassination, by the way, is Charlie Kirk was a backwards, bigoted moron that was interfering in American politics in a really fundamental way that was leading to like the degradation of our country. And I still don't think that means he deserved to be shot dead like a dog on the street. I still think that that's a fucked up thing to do because this country is supposed to value free speech and the ability of people to speak, and I value that. Even if their speech is fucking stupid and reprehensible, I think it is on the fucking opposition to provide a better argument. Yeah, Phoebe is a biblical name. Leftists had nothing to do with Kirk's death, but we ain't gonna live it down for years. I know, Riley. Right now, as of right now, All we fucking know about this shooter and their political leanings is that they'd gotten more political over the last few years, that they didn't like Charlie Kirk, and that they were heavily online. And a big meme lord, big gamer. They literally fit the fucking stereotypical profile of some right-wing Groyper type that was just terminally online all the time. Kind of a miracle that he had a partner to begin with. But I don't know. It's going to be one of those things we're going to have to wait and see on. Honestly, we're not going to know everything there is to know about it this week, next week, or the week after that. It's a developing story that's going to take a bunch of twists and turns as we learn more about it. But one thing's for sure, the left didn't kill Charlie Kirk, even if someone on the left killed Charlie Kirk, because that is called guilt by association, and we don't do that in this country. We don't assume that you're guilty merely because you associated with somebody at some point. We don't assume, like, for example, if a serial killer goes and kills somebody with a rope, we don't look for the manufacturer of that rope and hold them accountable and prosecute the cashier that sold them the rope or some shit like that. And we don't prosecute Remington whenever a Remington gets used in a gun in gun violence, and I don't think we should. Guilt by association is a pretty fucked up concept. And for some reason, the right wing seems to understand this when it comes to their people. When one of their people goes out and does some horrible violent shit, like Timothy McVeigh bombing the fucking federal building in Oklahoma City, they find some excuse why that's not the entire right wing. When it's Dylan Roof shooting up a black church, they find some reason why that's not the whole right wing. That's not got anything to do with the rhetoric that's becoming commonplace on our extreme sides. That's got nothing to do with that. When it comes to the shooter that killed those people in that mosque in New Zealand, his motives are completely divorced from the right wing as a whole, even though he literally considered himself an avowed fascist and an avowed fucking member of the right wing. It doesn't fucking get any clearer, honestly, that there is a complete double standard when it comes to this issue. The right wing is completely willing to throw everybody under the bus that associates or is associated with anybody that isn't them. Why are they? Why are they like that? Because ultimately that's what they want to do in general. That's what they want to do in general. That's why this stabbing that happened in North Carolina, that random white girl, that Ukrainian refugee that got stabbed by that random black guy, that's why it was made into a race issue. Because a truly, like a country that had truly gotten over race the way Republicans constantly act like we have, would not have seen it in that light. But our country can't help but see it in that light because we see everything, not we, but the right wing, and they rule our country, so it kind of starts to sound and feel like we at some point. But America, especially its right-wing factions and right-wing government, looks at every one of these opportunities as an opportunity to throw a marginalized community under the bus, an opportunity to oppress people just a little bit harder, an opportunity to restrict the movement and habits and lifestyles and lives in general of people who belong to some community that the right wing doesn't like. What are the communities they do like, if you're wondering? Straight, white, cisgender, Christian. If you're a WASP, if you're a cishet WASP, you're probably fine. You're probably fine by them. If you're a cishet WASP, you're probably fine. But if you're anything else, like even if you're a Catholic, that might be kind of rough for a lot of these types. I don't know why, by the way, so much of the right wing has become so willing to get in bed with white nationalists. This is not a crowd you guys want to involve yourselves in. They have a bunch of really weird, self-contradictory fucking ideas in their politics that you guys are not going to like having to navigate through. But whatever. Keep courting the fucking white nationalists. I'm sure your association with Nazis isn't going to start losing you votes anytime soon. No, dude, Riley, people will literally come in, listen for 5 minutes, realize that they were fucking tuned out of the whole conversation, hear a sentence, a sentence completely deprived of all its context. Just respond to that. What's up, Winston? Coughing off a little puff. I will not be rage baited. I refuse. When did you make a membership? Oh, it's been like this for a while. I haven't done much for the members yet because like we don't have that many yet. So some of the stuff that would match my kind of content doesn't make a whole lot of sense yet. But my goal right now is 50 members. I think we're at like 25 right now, but my goal is 50 members. If we get 50 or more members, I'm going to start doing a weekly or perhaps like twice weekly members only stream where it'll be the same kind of thing, but I'll schedule it out and I'll make absolutely sure I'm like here on time pretty much and everything. That way you guys know. Now it might still be pretty late, but I'll schedule it out. That way I can know exactly what time, and you guys can know exactly what time to plan for and everything else. Probably quiz the members, honestly, on, hey, what would be a good time for you guys? Is my normal late kind of time? Does that work for everybody? And that's one of the big things I want to start doing for you guys is having members-only streams. But also, I really want to figure out how to enable members-only chats for these regular public streams, because that could actually be really fucking cool. But I haven't figured out how to enable that yet. Maybe I should fucking send YouTube an email, because there is like a thing where you can basically give them suggestions. There is a thing where you can do that, and I oh my god, I should pitch it to them. I should send them an email. Fuck it, it'll probably not go anywhere, but fuck it, maybe it will. And maybe I could tell you guys to do the same thing, but I should send them an email that basically says, hey, add a feature on mobile where you can turn on members only live chat for live streams while you're streaming. Because, like, if you're a person who's really good at writing the algorithm on Shorts lives or something like that, turning on members, and especially if you get a lot of chat engagement, turning on members only basically gives your members priority in the chat. It allows them to, like, people who are established members, automatically they get in. But it also encourages people who are really desperate to have a conversation, who are really interested in the conversation that's happening. It allows them to, it encourages them to join the membership and to try it out. My broke ass ain't paying for memberships. Not everybody can, but I definitely want to do some members only content to reward the people who want to, you know? I want closed-minded chats. Dude, it's got nothing to do with wanting closed-minded chats. It's got to do with wanting to reward my members more than anything. And encourage some new signups, but mainly to reward those who've already signed up. I mean, the people who sign up for my membership or get them gifted and stuff, they usually are, in fact, all of them have been really fucking cool people that I really like hanging out and talking with. All of them are intelligent, you know? Like, I don't know. There's just something about signing up for a Phoebe Ophi membership that boosts your IQ by like 20 points. I don't know what it is. Save it for Sunday. That might be the best rebuttal ever. Michaela, that was fucking clever. I don't know if you invented that one, but that was clever. Oh boy, that was clever. You see the wildly different opinions we leave up in chat? Exactly, Riley. Why doesn't anybody else see this? Dude, it goes fucking unnoticed, but it's a fucking thing you will not see anywhere else on the internet anymore. I'm not saying literally anywhere else. I'm being a little hyperbolic, but you get my meaning. This is a fucking rare treat, and some of you guys don't even seem to recognize it as the privilege that it is. And I'm not even saying that to bitch, dude. I'm just calling it out. Like, some of you guys don't seem to recognize that this is not something you find every fucking day. The fact that you can be just shy of a Nazi and I won't ban you is a fucking rare treat out here, especially with somebody who's as far left as I am. How many other fucking lefties are you going to find out there who are not going to ban you merely because you're far right? Because I won't. Like Charlie, I don't give a fuck how wrong you are. I will debate you. I can't move fast enough to delete myself. Oh, I definitely could move fast enough to do something like that if I wanted to. But why would I want to? I've made $32 in 45 minutes from talking shit. I've made $32 in 45 minutes from having an argument. A bunch of little arguments, really. Are you saying there's something I've got to complain about? You need to look up Hitler political views and how many you end up agreeing with. I know enough about Adolf Hitler to know that me and Adolf Hitler did not have much in common. What exact policies would you be talking about, one? I want to get paid to talk shit too. Girl, everybody does. Everybody does. Trust me, I did for a long ass fucking time. The only thing, like, honestly, I don't even know how much sense it makes that this even happened for me. But, like, the thing that broke for me was, like, I did a few really, like, pretty watchable videos way back when about a couple of different topics. Those enabled me to get enough subscribers to start streaming, and for a long time I really didn't do much with that ability, but eventually YouTube reduced the amount of subscribers you had to have to vertical stream to like 100, and I had that, and so I started vertical streaming. People really liked my personality in the vertical streams, so my streams went from having like 10 to 20 people in there regularly tops to like 40 to 50 people regularly tops to 80 to 100 people regularly tops to, I mean, now we'll top out around 500. We've topped out, the max amount of views we've ever had is 1,200 people watching all at once. And, we average between 40 and 100 for most of the stream, I would say. So it's like fucking meteoric growth. And I think it's all based on the unique combination of having like parents that were the way my parents were, having kind of the weird ass fucking life I've had over the last 5 years. I mean, that's contributed heavily to it. And a big thing that I attribute to it, but maybe that's wrong, I don't know. I have spent most of the last 10 years watching podcasts intensely all the time, like in the background, like when I'm doing things that don't involve like my ears and shit. Like if I'm able to listen to something, I'm usually like listening to a podcast in the background, sometimes watching it, more often just listening. And there are a couple of different figures that I joke around and say I was forged in the fires of drunken peasants and deep fat fried, and I kind of was. I've been watching Paul's Ego for like fucking 8 years or 9 years or something like that. Been watching Frey for easily 12 years, something like that. Maybe at least 11 years. At least 11 years. Maybe 12. Um, Both of them are pretty edgy comedy types that are really funny, clever, witty, um, and pretty like intelligent, and also pretty heavy advocates for informing oneself. And that's luckily one of those habits that I have taken up. Like if I don't know something, I'll just cop to that. And if I do, um, I'm always happy to provide that perspective. But If I don't know something, I'm always like, ooh, let me look that up later, you know? Let me find out more about that. Now, sometimes I forget, but a lot of times I do end up remembering at some point. Still haven't looked up the situation in the Balkans, though. Yeah, Jeffree Star is not trans. Jeffree Star is fucking transphobic. Yes. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you, Taylor. Yes. Yes. Jeffree Star is a complete fucking grifter. Who was it that introduced me to his content? I can't remember if it was you or Alanis. I can't remember if it was you, Alanis, or somebody else, but I'm thinking it was one of you guys. Probably not going to remember as long as I sit here. It is what it is. I used to watch him a lot, so maybe. It was. It was. I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew I wasn't misremembering that. I knew it. Ah, that feels so good. Ah, man, being right is an addicting drug. No, but yeah, dude, I was blown the fuck away when I saw Jeffree Star's reaction video or whatever. Or I think, was it that? There was something I saw Jeffree Star saying recently that was, I think it was an anti-trans screed he was going on. And I was just like so blown away with it. And honestly, it screamed to me. It screamed like closet case. I don't know. I don't know how else to put it. I know Jeffrey's like openly gay, I'm pretty sure, but like the inflection with which he said some of the things he was saying just makes me wonder. I don't know, dude. I guess it's not right to wonder that about people. It's not right to like voice the trans identity on somebody that hasn't identified with that. But on the on the other hand, we know the psychology of people who condemn other people for sexual indiscretions of that particular nature a lot of times, and you know, gender indiscretions as well. A lot of times it's projection. So maybe. Yeah, he doesn't fuck with the they thems. Maybe that's what I was hearing him talk about. Maybe that's what I was hearing him talk about, honestly. But that's fucking Taylor. Is that not the stupidest thing ever? Because fucking Jeffree Star, like, I'm not. Once again, I don't want to foist the trans identity on somebody who's not trans. But dude, if Jeffree Star had come out at some point in the last 5 years and been like, you know, I'm non-binary, they them please, I would have fucking, I would have. I've been expecting it for years until now. Now I'm like, okay, well, maybe I was wrong. Hell, who the fuck knows? I mean, you really can be anything. If that song "Gender is Boring" has taught me anything, it's that you can be anything. So dress how you want and do what you feel. Don't let anyone tell you that gender is real. Actually, I think it's do what you want and dress how you feel, but whatever. Jeffree Star says a lot of things. That's just fucking thing. Well, yeah, yeah. Makeup YouTuber and fucking professional shit talker, which I can respect to some degree, I guess. But um, I don't know that I have a lot of respect for somebody who just manufactures positions simply to make money off of them, which is something I don't do. My opinions are fucking controversial. They're controversial enough to generate income all by themselves. All by themselves. We got Phoebe transvestigating before GTA 6. Oh, I'm not trying to transvestigate Jeffree Star, dude. What's up, Spookies? It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. And Lady Ray, the running joke is that his ex, who was very madly in love with, who he was very madly in love with, left him for a doll. Oh my God, dude! Like Elon, like Elon. Oh my God, dude, what if that's true? What if it's 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 true, though? What if it's fucking true? What if it's fucking true? His brand has fallen off, so he needs to generate new income. Simple as that. Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering, honestly. And it's funny that you're in here now, because it was something like I definitely would have quizzed you about. Is like, is that now I know, but I would have like, is that the angle? Because like I haven't heard anybody talking about Jeffree Star in probably 3 or 4 years, I would say. Um, it seems like he is not anywhere near the level of success he was. I mean, like in terms of like continuously growth success. Like I think Jeffree Star is still a billionaire, is he not? Like I know he's like wildly successful still, but a dude like that wants to continue growing forever. A dude like that, like if anybody who like gets to billionaire status wants to grow forever and ever and ever. There's an endless void in the middle of them, and it cannot be filled. It cannot be filled. It will not be filled. They sell Jesus at Walmart? I'm almost out too. They do. Oh, trust me, they do. They sell a lot more of it around Christmas time. Dude, the corporatization of Christianity has to be one of the most disgusting fucking things there is. I mean, it's like, just talk about fucking like rote corruption. He got canceled pretty hard. He's been internet famous all his adult life, so he doesn't feel complete without the attention. Oh God, dude. Oh man, I never even thought about that angle. I didn't know that though. I didn't know that. I forget about how many of these fucking YouTube personalities have literally been doing this since they were like young as fuck. It's like is James Charles still a thing? Because I know we used to watch his content until he got canceled, and then like his cancellation was like a big thing. But is he still a thing? It would not surprise me if he came back from it somehow. And if he did, he would probably be like in his late 20s now. I fucking love Post. I fucking love Post, dude. Post has the best response to somebody virtue signaling in the fucking world ever. Yeah, he's still around. That's what I figured. These motherfuckers never die. Dude, I don't know. Like, I've been saying for a while, like, cancellation is not real. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's like, dude, fucking, if OJ Simpson can be rehabilitated, anybody can be. If what is his name? Nicholas, no, that's not the name. I keep wanting to say Nick Spacey. It's not Nick Spacey. It's Kevin Spacey, right? Yeah. If Kevin Spacey can be rehabilitated after like probably assaulting a 14-year-old boy at a party in the 80s, like if that can fucking go on, and yeah, like he literally, dude, the shit surrounding that case alone is just wild. Like there were like several witnesses that were gonna testify that just mysteriously died in mysterious circumstances in the lead up. All kinds of weird shit happened around that case. So it's like, like if you're talking about trying to get one of these people actually meaningfully destroyed, I don't know that it's possible anymore. In fact, I think our culture has kind of become a culture that thrives on the rot. Is that as deep as I think it is? Because now that I actually said that out loud, it kind of sounds like that sounds weighty almost. Like, is it that bad yet, you think? You can only be canceled if you allow yourself to be canceled. Example, Jenna Marbles. She accepted her criticisms, most don't. Oh my fucking God. Actually, you know what? I was saying something like that the other day. I was talking about Demon Mama. I don't know if you know who Demon Mama is, Taylor, but she was this lefty bread tuber kind trans girl figure that was uh, like super big on BreadTube. Not super big, but she was like making her living off of YouTube and doing pretty good for herself. And she went through this cancellation, and she basically chose to let herself get canceled. Like, she did one response stream to it and then just ghosted. Now, granted, she was going through a lot of harsh shit, but she was also at a point in her YouTube career where she could have used the Streisand effect, basically, to her advantage and gotten a lot more support, maybe even gotten invited, like if she'd handled it the right way, because her cancellation was a complete nothing burger. She had a person on her fucking editing payroll that was like underage and shouldn't have been working. That's it. That's it. There was no allegations of sexual impropriety from my memory or anything like that. It was literally just some like workers' rights shit, and her, credibility as a lefty was called into question. And there was also the implication of untoward shit with children because she's a trans woman. But if she'd handled that the right way, she would still be making content. She'd probably be bigger than she ever had been. But she kind of like accepted the criticisms, like kind of defended herself, kind of accepted them, didn't keep making content, and away she went. I love Demon Mama, but haven't watched her in a while. Well, no one has. Demon Mama hasn't made content in like 2 years. Yeah, I think Mama should come back too, but I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm doubtful she ever will. Well, she probably will, but not right now, not in this current climate, and probably not until Trump's out of office, or maybe in the second half of his presidency or something. Hard to tell. But yeah, no, I totally agree. You can only be canceled if you allow yourself to be canceled, and if you don't, like honestly, a great example is if you look at TJ Kirk, right? Into the Fray, they come in here, friend of the show, Into the Fray. Um, they were canceled before canceling is canceling, right? They were canceled way back when, in 2011, I think, over this video that got leaked where they were like doing anal play with a banana, and doing like hot oil play with their nuts and stuff, like doing all kinds of wild shit, right? Highly pornographic video got released, and instead of like just ignoring it or going away or anything like that, TJ, in their immeasurable disdain for societal norms, posted a video entitled Bananagate 2011 with a thumbnail of TJ wearing a ball gag, holding a banana, I think it was. And they talked about it. She basically said, like, yep, I shoved a banana up my ass. I did it. I'd do it again. I'll probably do it in the future. You ought to see the shit that ain't dropped. And they shot up in popularity. It was like a massive fucking boon for them, because people were like dumbfounded. Even prudes found themselves like blown away by the sheer boldness of it, by the unashamedness of it. I've never told TJ this, but it really was like that video. They should like pat themselves on the back for that video, because it's not just them, you know, waving away criticisms of that video that shouldn't have been leaked. It's also like kind of like a sexual liberation video, if you think about it, because it's basically someone admitting that they do something and did something that a lot of society finds like gross or disgusting or laughable or whatever, but that isn't actually wrong morally in any way, not objectively, not in any kind of objective sense or universal sense or anything like that, not in any way that matters, right? Some person out there might find it wrong, but it doesn't hurt anybody else. I guess it hurts the banana. Onision is my favorite example of only if you let yourself. He has not a single fan, and yet he persists. Yet he does, dude. What? Like that has got to be, like, Onision is like the successful Brett Keane. I don't know if you remember me memeing about Brett Keane back in the day, but Onision is like the successful fucking counterpart to Brett Keane. He is the successful manatee. He is what happens if the manatee had actually been able to fucking garner some kind of YouTube success. Because oh my fucking god, dude, like Onision's been making content since, like, I mean, there are people right now getting their licenses and shit who were born after Onision started making content. You know what I mean? Like, dude has been on the platform for a dog's age, for a fucking whole litter of dogs' ages, and at this point is pretty much universally hated. Universally hated. Whatever income he has, like whatever income he's making on YouTube has to be derived entirely from haters. No, but which I mean, haters. I'll tell you this much, Taylor. As somebody who also profits off of haters, hater money spends just as green as any other money does. But when you're talking about somebody like that, it's kind of like a fucked up situation to be in, because Onision actually is like, he used to have real fucking fans. Like, I have some real fans too. I'm not saying I don't. I would say like a third of the people that are regulars here are maybe even a half, you know, are like actively supportive and like me. But, you know, like, I'm not some person that established myself as some like giant demagogue at some point. Onision was. There was a time when he was like Leafy or something, which nobody even talks about. Leafy is here anymore. Is Leafy around still? Because I know Leafy got canceled pretty fucking hard. Anyone remember Mr. Repsion, however you spell it? Rep is still occasionally around. Yeah, Rep still does stuff. Dude, Mr. Repsion is a fucking Uber driver now, I think. I think that's the kind of content he makes now, too. Or something like that. No, dude, I remember the video. He made a video pretty recently that was like, why you shouldn't do YouTube as a career, or something like that. Which was basically him not saying, like, do it if you really want to, but don't do it expecting it to be like an easy life full of joy and wonderful things. It's like a lot more bullshit than your regular life probably is, and you might crave that normalcy at some point in that process, which I think really, it's good advice, but it also doesn't necessarily apply to everybody universally. There are genuinely people that seem to fucking prosper in that environment. Like, once again, I'll point to TJ. I mean, Frey has been YouTubing for a living since like 2011, 2012, something like that, almost 20 years, and doesn't seem to be slowing down. Seems to be well suited to it. Seems to have adapted incredibly well to the lifestyle and everything. And other people seem to get into it, get a certain level of success, and end up like Mr. Epsilon, doing something way more normal as their main job. Excuse me. I think his most recent was just his Facebook dating horror stories. It was a fun listen. It's insane that I've been watching YouTube since 2010 and the people I watched then are still going. Oh, dude, yes, I 100% agree, Sophia. And I think his most recent was his Facebook dating horror stories. Then yeah, it's probably not his most recent video that I'm thinking of then. But that sounds like the kind of video I'd love to listen to, dude. I used to listen to dude, Review Tech USA. He has fucking deleted his main channel at this point in history, but he used to have a channel with a bunch of really fucking high quality videos on there in terms of their storytelling. And a lot of the ones I would listen to are him telling dating stories. And none of those are around anymore, bro. All of those are gone. As far as I know, maybe there's some backup somewhere, but I haven't been able to track it down. I love listening to people talk about their love lives and their like weird personal lives and shit. I feel like such a weird voyeur, but you know, it is what it is. It's interesting to me. What's it like being old? Shut the fuck up. Ain't you got homework to do, kid? No, I'm kidding. Man, I don't know, dude. What's it like to be old? It fucking sucks, bro. No, I don't know. I'm not nearly fucking old, dude. I'm not even anywhere near old. I'm a spring chicken still, okay? Although I also recognize that I'm getting to the portion of my life where I'm going to start saying that, and it's going to be progressively less true every day. You know, but I want to, fuck, man, you know? I spent most of my early 20s feeling like I didn't really have a plan, not knowing exactly what I was going to do, not really even knowing if I was going to make it to my 30s, even because I was just so reckless and shit. And I was like, well, I've already fucked up quite a bit of shit, so might as well just kind of, you know, bide my time and eventually something will work out. I wasn't even thinking about it. I did nothing meaningfully to prepare myself for the eventuality of my future. And, now I'm 27 and that reality has caught up to me. I've got like bills and shit, and I'm managing money better than I used to, but I'm still like catching up with all the mistakes of my youth. And I still feel young in some ways, but I also recognize like more physical limitations than I used to have. Like my chronic pain has like only gotten worse year to year. So at this point, I would say I spend between a tenth and an eighth of the year, if not laid up in bed, then limping pretty hardcore. Phoebe and DFF are the only political / trash talky things I watch. Red Letter Media and other shit posting movie talk crap are staples in my YouTube feed. Nice. That's actually really cool, Riley. That makes me happy. That makes me really fucking happy. That's actually really dope, Riley. That makes me feel good. Oh boy. I love my audience. You guys are great. Oh my god. They're just wonderful. To be put on the same level, Back when Phoebe was a kid, the Flintstones was a reality show. Yeah, and back when you were a kid, the fucking iPhone 20 was fucking new technology. What of it? Shut the fuck up before I find your binky, alright? Babyface motherfucker. I know! Cheeky little alpha kids literally yelling at me from their playpen. It's like, Jesus is in your yearbook. I'm a year younger than you. Oh my god, I'm retarded. Dude, why am I dumb? Why did that take me so long to puzzle out? I'm cackling. Good. I love this kind of humor. I love bullshitting with you guys. You are young still, because old people don't care about anything young people say. People talking is like pigeons cooing a lot of times in my best perception. We are like a bunch of loud pigeons, honestly, but that's one of the most beautiful things about us and pigeons. That's why I relate to pigeons, at least, is because, like, they've clearly got some kind of notion of society. They, too, live in cities and rural areas just like we do. Um, they eat a lot of fast food and garbage just like we just like we do. Their speech clearly makes sense to them, but just sounds like garbled fucking mess and garbage to the rest of us. There's a lot to love in a pigeon. There's a lot human-like in a pigeon. There's a lot to love in them. And plus, dude, the fucking story of the pigeon is so sad. Let me regale you guys with the tale of the pigeon. Okay, so here's how pigeons came to live in the cities. We used to use pigeons as a way to carry messages across long distances. Homing pigeons is what they're called. And for a long fucking time in uh, human history, that was a great way of conveying a written message between places. Now, it required kind of preparations beforehand, but, you know, it was a system that worked. And basically, if you're curious, I'll explain it because I'm sure somebody's wondered before how it worked. You would raise pigeons, like 2 points that needed to communicate would raise pigeons, right? And when point A wants to send a message to point B, it sends that message directly. It has to send the first message directly, but it is able to receive the reply from point B back to point A via pigeon mail. So that's basically how the system would work. It's kind of convoluted, but they do return home and they're really good at it. So it was a technology that worked for a long time. But as soon as the fucking telegraph was invented, the pigeon was no longer useful for their original purpose, not even in smaller applications. And the more the telegraph became more widespread, the more post services became more widespread, even the less pigeons became useful and the less they became relied upon as message carriers. And once they finally fell out of fashion completely, they were all released to go live their lives however they saw fit, with many of their human handlers probably assuming that they would just return to the wild. Now, what made them think that is beyond me, because they've clearly demonstrated a capacity for returning home to the area in the urban environment to which their brain has been accustomed. So I don't know why they thought they were going to all of a sudden like just choose to fly away into the woods, but they thought that. And what ended up happening instead, the pigeons started making nests outside of the designated nest boxes and everything that they had been living in. They started roosting in other places in the city. They slowly started adapting even more to the open urban environment. And, you know, 200 years later, now you've got the pigeon that we have today, the city pigeon that we have today, which is a sad, abandoned human companion animal that used to help us send messages in wartime and peacetime across all kinds of terrain and through all kinds of conditions, that now, having been deprived of so many of their natural instincts, just kind of get to live this way more pitiful existence as just another form of background radiation in the polluted wasteland of the city. Yeah, the pigeons were still useful in wartime, that's true. And pigeons in wartime use remained, I think, commonplace all the way up until, Korea or something like that. I know they were being used in World War II, occasionally at least. Dude, people don't realize, or at least not enough people, in my opinion, realize just what a fucking technological advancement wireless technology really is. And our kind of like distributed network, our kind of like decentralized internet network that makes everything work together. Can't believe Phoebe remembers this so vividly. I think DVDs were becoming more common when I was a kid, but my family didn't have a DVD player until late in the game. I want to say 2005. Rose, that was another age joke, wasn't it? That was another old person joke, wasn't it? It took me a minute. I was like, what am I remembering? And I was thinking, I had looked for context clues, and then I was like, oh, a pigeon thing. And I was like, wait a minute. I remember it from a history book, motherfucker. Not because I was around for it. What do you think? I was keeping pigeons? Okay, well, actually, I have kept pigeons, so never mind. Never mind. Okay, you might have a point on this one. I was gonna argue with you, but then I remembered that I literally used to have a pair of fantail pigeons. Which are not as skilled flyers as you would think. You would think that fantail would provide them with a lot more lift or something. No, no, it is an encumbrance. I read that as bonus Festus disc. Cat lore is my favorite pet lore. Domesticated themselves, therefore almost genetically identical to cats of the past because they didn't need to adapt. Yeah, no, Taylor, I 100% agree with you. Dude, another piece of cool cat lore that I figured out recently. Did you know cheetahs have been around with us for almost as long as fucking cats have? Like, I always thought cheetahs were big cats, but they're not. They're fucking like, they're more closely related to house cats than they are to like lions and pumas and shit like that. Um, even even mountain lions are more closely related to larger cats than like cheetahs are. And once I fucking figured that out, and that apparently human beings and cheetahs have been in close association for like 4,000 years or some shit like that. I don't remember the exact number of years, but it's just some crazy amount of years, like 5,000 fucking years or some shit, that human beings have been keeping cheetahs as pets. And so there literally are like functionally domestic lineages of cheetah. How's that for a fucking wild pet to have, dude? How's that for a fucking wild pet to have? Dude, can you imagine the fucking horror that would have lied on someone's face that wasn't familiar with the fact that you have a cheetah and the cheetah goes to play? But they just like, dude, you'd have to give people warnings. You would have to give people warnings. And in order to not get sued, you would have to have fucking so many signs. So many signs. Because I have no doubt that a cheetah probably would try to kill somebody that just like fell down and acted like complete prey and started screaming and shit like that, you know? Like, if you start acting like a rabbit, I have no doubt that a cheetah's gonna treat you like one. But, you know, I feel like if you don't, like the fact that you're as big as they are pretty much eliminates that kind of like, oh, I'm gonna fucking get you kind of thing. I don't know though. All I know is that I've seen way too many people fucking with chill ass cheetahs. And when I looked into it, I found out the cheetahs have apparently been around human beings for a long ass fucking time. You have a millipede? Those things are cool. Millipedes are dope. We have a gecko. His name is Leo. Aren't we clever? Apparently, there's something like 5,000 privately owned big cats and as pets in Canada. I never expected that here. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I don't know why either, but Canada is like not as strict about it as you might think. America, on the other hand, we got pretty strict about that shit in the early 2000s. Now, before we got strict about that shit, my parents actually used to be involved in the exotic animal trade. My mom has this really funny story, and I'll ask her to tell it one of these days. Um, the leash story, I call it. But they used to take me to animal sales sometimes, and they would have all kinds of crazy shit out on the floor, in kennels and cages and stuff like that. But still, and I was apparently quite prone to wandering up to every single animal I could get close to and trying to pet it. I was so fucking fascinated by animals. I just, I wanted to befriend every one of them. But I would do it like no matter how dangerous an animal was, like no matter how scared my mom might be of me getting close to it, I had no fear in my heart for anything. I was like, "Ooh, look, a tiger!" You know. Um, it was no good. So she's literally bought me a harness and leash set, and she would, whenever she had to go to the animals sales with um, my dad and everything, and they brought me, they would bring me on a leash so that my mom could like make absolutely sure that I could get close enough to see, but I couldn't get close enough to touch. So do we, LOL. His name is Tico. That's a cute name. I love that. I love that. I wonder if this Rose the tea girl is the same Rose that sold us acid back in Boulder. Back in 2021. Feeling like a freak on a leash, feeling like I have no release. I probably didn't say that in rhythm. It's like if I read the first lines from fucking Forgot About Dre, but I just read them without inflection. Y'all know me. Still the same OG, but I've been low key. Hated on by all these niggas with no cheese, no wheels, and no G's. Oh yeah, Taylor, that's a party trick that I have still I've kept working on it, and I've brought it out for the chat a few times. The whole Phoebe can rap bit has been a hit on here a couple of times. Deadpan Eminem is a mood. So what do you say to somebody you hate or anyone trying to bring trouble your way? Want to resolve things in a bloodier way? Just study a tape of NWA. One day I was walking by with a Walkman on when I caught a guy giving me an awkward eye, so I strangled him out in the parking lot with his Carl Kanai. I don't give a fuck if it's dark or not. I'm harder than me trying to park a Dodge when I'm drunk as fuck, right next to a humongous truck in a two-car garage, walking off with two broken legs trying to walk it off. Fuck you too, bitch. Call the cops. I'm gonna kill you and this loud-ass motherfucking barking dogs. And when the cops came through, me and Dre stood next to a burnt-down house with a can full of gas and a handful of matches. Found out. So from here on out, it's a chronic too. Starting today, and I'm still loco enough to choke you to death with a Charleston Chew. Slim Shady, hotter than a set of twin babies, and a Mercedes Benz with the windows up when the temp goes up to the mid 80s. Call them men ladies. Sorry, Doc, but I've been crazy. There's no way that you can save me. It's okay, go with him, Haley. Ta-da! Do you remember my party trick? How I can eject my saliva at the force of 1,000 suns? Yeah, yeah. I sure fucking do. Oh my god. Ugh. Mm. My current partner has the same trick, by the way. Jesus Christ. A type for real? People complain about bands changing their sound/genre, but my tism is that um, I get annoyed when singers choose to change their signature inflections. I do too, honestly. Yeah, like it would be like if Dallas Green decided to go from being like I sing up here in falsetto. You know, it would be like if he suddenly chose to go from that to like, now I'm gonna be a blues singer. You know, it would be real fucking jarring. It's just the saliva party trick you're seeking? Probably. Probably. No, actually, for real, they didn't unveil that until recently. I don't think they revealed that after like until after they gave birth. Because I think they were holding our baby when they did it the first time. If I'm thinking of the right thing. Write this down. Listen to Blow Your Trumpets, Gabriel by Behemoth. Okay. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I can't write it down. I don't have any writing utensils near me, but and then remember it. Okay, okay. I will do my best. No hard promises, but I'll do my best. Gabriel blew my trumpet all right. My oh my. Oh, I think something came all right. I think something came all right. Are we dead right now? I was going to make a joke and then I realized only supernatural nerds would get it. It's too niche. Yeah. It does suck when you come up with a really fucking good joke, but then you realize you're not exactly the right crowd for it. Now, I think like when it comes to something like supernatural, I feel like enough people get it that you could probably just still get away with it. You know, like there's probably somebody out of the 20 people watching that would get it. I wouldn't, but you know, or maybe I would. I've watched a little bit of Supernatural because my partner likes it, but you know, and honestly, Mom went through a Supernatural phase for a while because Ryan was going through a Supernatural phase for a while, and I got a little bit more familiar with some of the memes, but I still don't quite get it, you know. Ryan and so would miss her. Wait, what? Why are you making biscuits? Why you make biscuits on me? Why you do that? Why do you do that? What's everyone's comfort show? Bob Ross, The Joy of Painting. Didn't even have to think about it. It's free on Tubi, so I watch it every night to go to sleep. And when I'm sick, sometimes I'll just watch it for fun. Dude, I redid me and my partner's room today to make it like a little bit more baby friendly and people friendly, honestly. Now, granted, we are now sleeping in a position that I associate with bad things, you know, like my mom instilled in me a very healthy belief in superstition, and my feet are now facing towards the doorway. But, you know what I thought about? Honestly, I thought about the fact that when me and Taylor used to live together, I slept in a bed that had that same orientation, and not once did I ever die. So I ain't gonna die this time neither. So I just fucking put the bed in the corner, and just like that, a bunch more space materialized in the room. I also took out a whole ass fucking couch. But then I was able to reorient the bed in a way that made sense. God fucking thank goodness. Tubi is a godsend. Good choice, Phoebes. Tubi supremacy. Yes, dude, Tubi is a godsend. Like, all you need is an internet connection, and sure, there are ads, but honestly, it's almost like watching old-time cable TV, but better because you can watch whatever you want. And it's ad-funded, so you really ain't got to fucking worry about paying for a subscription or anything like that. I think they do have a premium. I think you can pay for a premium account where you don't have to deal with the ads, but what's the fucking point in doing that? You know, they seem to be fucking perfectly well funded on ads alone. And they've got a pretty fucking giant, enormous choice of shit to go through, too. There's all kinds of classic films on Tubi, all kinds of classic shows on Tubi. Lots of good kids content, lots of good adults content, lots of good niche content. I was thinking that, but didn't want to share personal info, lol. I mean, if it's like vague enough, I'm totally cool with that. I overshare on these streams a little bit. Like I said, nothing that's like super personally identifying, like, you know. um like, I don't discuss the town I live in, but I'll talk about how I live in Mississippi, you know. I don't talk about like the exact um nature of like everything in my house and household, but I do like, well, I will talk about um our like class situation or whatever. It's a weird fine line you have to walk when you're doing YouTube, especially like with my channel growing like it has been. It's like you have to walk a weird line, especially if you're somebody making the kind of content that I make, where that's part of what you do is a little bit of oversharing, to not share so much that you get yourself in trouble or make yourself personally identifiable or whatever. Like, too easy. I mean, like, somebody that's dedicated enough is going to figure it out, but you know, you don't want to make it easy. It's like so easy that some Discord nerd with 5 hours of free time can figure it out. You know, you want somebody to have to pony up 50 or $60 to really fucking figure out what they want to know. Tubi has old movies, schlock, and porn, my favorites. Wait, what? Does Tubi actually have fucking porn on it? Does it really? I fall asleep to Friends, but when I need deep in my soul comfort, I watch BoJack. Oh man, that that is a long time habit too. Well, actually, you know what? That was like towards the end of me living up there. Oh, for the longest time, your comfort show was Trailer Park Boys. For the longest time, Taylor's comfort show was Trailer Park Boys, and then it became, what was it after that? Was that when you went to BoJack, or am I thinking of something else? I don't know, but I remember TPB. I remember that one for certainty. The Office. That's the other one. That's the fucking yes. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Fuck, man. Why couldn't I remember that? I knew there was some other show that you switched to, and my mind kept wanting to say House MD, and I was like, no, she liked that one, but that wasn't the type of show she'd fall asleep to. And I kept thinking House MD, and I was like, no, we've already negotiated this. Stop being a moron. And that's like my brain just kept wanting to go down that path, and I was like, fuck, dude, I'm never gonna remember it. I need to stop hitting that thing so I don't run out of vape too quick. I don't know if you've gotten to see my guitar since since you've been watching these, but I got a new guitar. And I'm actually proud to say that I drew this stuff on here myself. Like, it took a while, especially with a paint marker, but I did actually put some cool shit on here. So it's styling now. It's personable. And there's even a little tiny penis. A very small penis. Ah, fuck. The quality is low. God damn it. Going once. Going twice. Can you guys see me any better? Do I stream on TikTok too? No, though I probably should. Probably should. Should probably start cutting up some of the better moments from these streams and putting them up as shorts, honestly. I'm a fat, lazy bastard and I don't do it. You guys are cold. It's a Phoebe stream. The quality is always low and probably always has been and probably always will be. It's like, god damn, you guys are fucking... I can't even blame you though, because this is such a roast prone environment, you know? Like, live by the sword, die by the sword. Yes, it's the Triforce. Yeah, I do have a little tiny Triforce I painted down here because I thought, that's fucking cool. A pentagram or pentacle. Yeah, pentacle down here. Not because I personally necessarily like relate to Wicca or feeling like I'm like a witch personally, but my mom does, and I feel like she was like really influential in my kind of like stage presence or fucking personality or whatever the fuck. I don't know. But it felt right to include that kind of imagery on my guitar because it would just like naturally lend itself to that and be kind of like a homage to someone that is like formative in my life to developing whatever this is, you know? Then this is Squatter's Rights, which is like self-explanatory, hopefully. It's like, property is theft until the thieves are away. But the basic rundown is the idea that merely having a title on some property shouldn't mean that you actually own that property. It should have something to do with actually using it and being there, and that otherwise it's perfectly legitimate for someone else to set up and use your property for like something that isn't just sitting there and earning you investment income, you know? That's basically what that's about. And I always go through and explain all these different things because there's always a bunch of fucking people in chat confused about this, that, or the other thing. So I'll just go with that. Go ahead and explain them all. We're almost done though. This Machine Kills Fascists. This was on Woody Guthrie's guitar. Means the same thing today that it meant back then, which is that music, organization, social organization, and mutual aid, all of these things fight against fascism, passively and actively. And music is a big fundamental part of that. And then along the edge here, invisible to anyone but me, is we are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. Audio is particularly glitchy right now. No. Fuck. Shit. No. All right, hold on. Let's see about now. Knowing my luck, it's going to be just as fucked up as it ever was, if not worse. I have big, beautiful audio, and some people even... You have big, beautiful audio, and some people are even saying it's the best audio they've ever heard. Yeah. Yeah, Riley, you're in your underwater fuck. You're hearing things that are like echoing off the waves and shit. You want to blame that on my audio? I'm sorry. I can't account for Riley Weston's $500 million underwater sea compound, okay? Much as I would love to. Y'all, I am manic as shit. I want to fucking... explode, but in a good way. I need sleep now, but maybe I'll catch you tomorrow. We can talk about Candace Owens' identity crisis right now. Yeah, let's talk about that tomorrow because it'll be fun. In fact, I will read up about what she's going through, and maybe we can talk about it from a more, or at least I'll have a better, more educated perspective on it. I'll look into it tonight. But yeah, good night and everything. Obviously, get good sleep and all that. All the stuff that people are supposed to say when people go to bed. Good night. Sleep well. Enjoy your evening. Buenas noches. Margot. Margot the Margnome. The Marnome. I'm sure your audio has great personality, Phoebe. Oh my god, you guys are fucking great. My audio sounds buttery smooth. Anybody calling my audio bad? Anybody calling out my audio? My audio sounds perfectly fine. Ban anybody talking about Wendy's chili. Ban anybody talking about gastric bypass. Go ahead and ban them. I hope you guys know I'm kidding. I'm just making a Wings of Redemption joke. I want to start walking to Canada and I could reach the border by Saturday night. Dude, I used to have this fantasy in my head of doing a walking journey across the United States. And I still kind of have that fantasy. I still kind of have that fantasy, but dude, I've met some people that were like overroading or just doing like a full trek. And dude, those are some of the hardest motherfucking people you'll ever meet. Dude, you get so skinny doing that shit. Maybe you like wouldn't lose as much weight if you were doing it with like a steady income. I guess honestly, if the channel got to a certain enough point, I would offer that as a goal or something like that. Oh my god, I should offer that as a membership goal. Phoebe's trek across America. It's like the RV trip across America, except real. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I really think I could do that though, because it's doable. There's nothing about that that would cost that much money. It would just cost, a certain amount of support to be able to have the income to do it. But if I had that like established, got to that point, it would be honestly a pretty fucking cool thing to do. The trek across America. Like, get a train ticket or whatever off to some point in the east, cross through the Appalachians, cross over the Midwest and the Great Plains, over the Rockies, through one of the few passes over the Sierra Nevadas, down into the valley, over the coastal range, into Pismo Beach or one of the other Central Coast beaches. Or I could do the Pacific Northwest, and maybe I could hang out with Ignar a little bit. I would say I could hang out with Paul, but I know he's kind of a hermit, so I'm not going to impose myself like that. But I mean, if he reached out, I'd do it, but I wouldn't like ask, But Ignar and me have talked about it before. We're definitely going to hang out if we're in the same spot. 12 miles in New England, that's like 6 states. I know, right? Dude, Massachusetts was one of those states that kind of redefined what length is to me because, like, dude, if something is 2 or 3 hours away in the Midwest, that's a fucking long ass drive. That could be like 180 to 220 miles, That could be well, I guess it's probably not going to be like 220, but it could be like up to 200 miles. And 2 to 3 hours in. Can someone see how many miles wide is Massachusetts? Can someone do that math for me or look that up real quick? Like how wide is Massachusetts at its narrowest point? Because I didn't go to the widest point. I went to one of the narrower points of Mass. So how wide is Mass at its narrowest point? Like laterally or whatever. 127? 127 miles. Yeah, so Boston takes like 2 to 3 hours or 4, depending on traffic, to get to from the Berkshires. But the reason has nothing to do with distance and literally everything to do with terrain, because it is just mountains upon mountains upon mountains upon mountains upon mountains upon mountains upon mountains, hills and hills and hills and hills and hills. Hills as fucking far as the eye can see. You've heard of the hills having eyes? Well, this is hills as far as the eyes can see. Two hours could be times, yeah, no, like no doubt. So you get it from the city side too. Like anytime you're going through a city in Massachusetts, and it's not just Boston either. Fucking Pittsfield will slow you down. Literally, it doesn't matter. And I kind of think it's a good thing. I kind of think it helps these cities hold on as much as they have. So I'm not necessarily complaining about it, but it is definitely something that's different about the South and the Midwest and the Northeast, right? The South is like a weird hybrid between the two. So I'll just talk about cities and towns for the most part are designed so you can go right past them, basically. Even the big cities are designed like that, pretty much. Like a lot of cities in the Midwest, pretty much all major cities in the Midwest, honestly, have ring roads around them, so that somebody coming from any direction into the city that's just trying to stay on the interstates never has to interact with a single thing in the actual city proper. Never have to go into it, never have to stop at any of the stoplights or see any of the businesses or deal with any of the advertisements or anything like that. And it's not really like that in New England, from what I could tell. It really is not like that. For breakfast? Oh boy. Well, if I get up early enough, maybe I could do. I don't know. I don't know. French toast, maybe. The narrowest, like 1 billionth of an inch. Depends on where you measure from. Yeah, I guess that's true because of the weird borders it has. Okay. Well, I just mean like, okay, from how many miles is it as the crow flies from Salisbury Beach to North Adams? That'll tell me. That'll be the tail of the tape. Oh my God, Rose, why are you getting so hostile? I can reach Idaho in 2 hours if I leave now. Well, that's what I'm saying is the Midwest is fucking built different. In the Northeast, 2 hours might just be getting from one side of the state to the other. You might be able to cross the state border in that amount of time, but it just depends on where you're positioned. The states are a lot smaller, but the terrain is a lot more varied. And so, you know, the joke you made, or whoever made it earlier, is still valid. Like 12 miles in New England can feel sometimes. But yeah, I think it's also backed up by this weird time perceptual thing because it can be made worse, right? Because you'll drive for 20 fucking minutes and think you've gone 20 miles if you're a Midwesterner, but you haven't. You'll look at your fucking map or whatever, and you'll find out you've only gone 12 miles. Drive for an hour, and you might have driven 45 miles. We are for breakfast. Oh my God, I wish. I wish. Oh, I wish. Ah, I need, I really do need to start doing more with my channel besides just doing these streams because, like, I legit, I wish I had the fucking money. And I want to have the money next time there's a meetup after this one or at some point to be able to do some shit like rent an Airbnb near the meetup or reasonably close to it and have a few fucking super cool people from the community over for some Phoebe meals. You ain't gotta stay for the whole day, but if you do, there's this fucking shit on the menu. Oh my God, that'd be fun. I'm gonna eat a fat breakfast after the meetup. You and a whole lot of other people. I hope Clifton's Diners are ready, because I have no fucking doubt that I mean, if they've already sold half the tickets, I mean, that's fucking crazy. That's 150 fucking people, which is a lot of people from my understanding for a venue that can hold a decent amount of people. Like 300 is not far off from where they're at. You know, that's like the maximum amount of tickets they can sell, I think. So it's gonna be fucking wild. And apparently apparently Dingbats told them that if they are doing good and shit, they'll let them stay past that. That it's not like a hard close. So it could be like 4 fucking in the morning. That venue is tiny. It's gonna be a cozy bitch. Oh shit, is it? Is it tiny? Oh no. Tiny? Oh no. What do you mean tiny? Aren't you going to the meetup, Riley? Yeah, because the pictures I saw made it look pretty decently sized. I mean, it didn't look that tiny to me. But maybe I've just played in some real tiny places. Dude, I have been to several fucking house shows and shit, and a house show will fucking give you like a whole new idea of a tiny concert space. Dude, do you guys want to hear a song that I first heard? Well, I didn't first hear it, but uh, I basically taught it to myself at a show by watching the person who wrote it play it. You'll be there? Nice. Nice. I don't understand the question, and I'm not going to respond to it. Okay. Turd Ferguson? I don't remember who that was. But then again, I didn't watch SNL that much. Okay. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. Make sure my phone's still charging. Yeah, it is. Okay. Boy, I move bad these days. Oh, okay. Here's a photo of dingbats. It's the purple section. Alrighty, hold on. I'm gonna look at this real quick. Oh boy. Well, I mean, it still looks like it's plenty big enough to hold a fucking meetup. It's not. Let's put it into perspective. But then again, maybe it's bigger than it looks. I don't know. Um, I know a lot. Like I know it serves food. I'm pretty sure, right? Or is that something I didn't understand when I was looking at the Dingbats website and looking it up online and shit? Is like, do they serve food there, or is it adjacent? Is it an adjacent building that connects to there, or what? Because if there's a kitchen in that fucking purple building, then oh hell, you can assume about half of that space is kitchen and kitchen stuff. There's a kitchen. Yep, that's what I figured. Yeah, so that means like probably half that space is useful in terms of like performance space and hangout space. But whatever, dude. Like, it's gonna be packed out. There's probably gonna be plenty of people standing around outside smoking and on a fucking busy night anyway. Honestly, although it is gonna be fucking November in New Jersey, so I bet that shit's pretty cold. I better remember that shit. I've got to get my trench coat repaired before then, or find me another one. It's like barbecue and nachos and shit, I think. Oh hell, that fucking that's right up my alley. Although, fuck. Seriously, and this is, you can call it Mississippi supremacy or whatever. But I doubt very seriously that they are going to impress me with their barbecue game. I doubt this very distinctly. Walking tour of America or whatever I call it, the cross country trek. Maybe after I do that, my next membership goal or whatever could be um, like trying to find good Southern food in places that aren't the South. I'll smoke you out. Oh shit! Oh shit, dude! Oh my god. Well, I appreciate it. That's super fucking dope. Because I probably will not travel with a whole lot of stuff. I do want to have some spending money that I can use to buy some weed when I get up there, but I don't want to travel with a big bag. Especially not because, like, you know, shit I'm getting down here is not going to be the type of shit. Y'all ever tried pulled pork nachos? I have not, but I have wanted to make them. I know a great food truck that serves pulled pork nachos. Absolutely delicious. That sounds really fucking good. Don't get me too hungry now, Rose. Everything is closed in my town. Oh my god, me too. Me fucking too. Well, I don't even live in a town, but, the nearest towns to me, everything is closed. I gotta tell you guys, like if at some point like if things continue to do better and better on here and everything, eventually I really fucking hope I get the ability to move somewhere better and somewhere a little nicer and with a little more access to amenities and shit. Because goddamn, I fucking miss having the ability to run off. Like, I want to live within 10 or 15 minutes driving distance of a lot of good food. And at least some of it needs to be open late or open 24 hours. So like like the old area I used to live in Missouri, and like Park Hills, Deloge, Farmington, that kind of area, that I would consider again if I could get some kind of country plot out that way, which is super hard to do nowadays because it's all fucking bought up and expensive and shit. But if you could, be a good option. Great option if I could. Got the fucking Jack in the Box for those 24 hours. Got so many other restaurants that are open late and all that shit. But honestly, like, I think if I could have my perfect druthers, I think I would probably live somewhere with somewhere like an hour's drive outside of the city. Because there are places in St. Louis that are an hour away from some complete wilderness, or basically damn near close to it, where I could have chickens and I wouldn't have to listen to the fucking noise of everything. But then again, I don't know if I would be satisfied by that either, because I would still have to probably listen to more sound than I would want to, and I would definitely be dealing with light pollution. Thing to think about. Food trucks on the street are all but banned in my area. Aw, that's fucking sad, Riley. Oh man, that's fucking sad. Dude, that's one great thing about the area I live in the South is that, dude, it's kind of like fucking, I don't know, it's like 1955 around here in some ways. Not actually in the racism way you would think. You would fucking think, but no. The lynching that happened recently here is the first lynching we've had in a very long time. We've been doing pretty good, you know? Should I play a song about lynchings in the wake of this lynching that happened? By the way, that's what it was. There's no way that person hung them in public for no reason. Like, with that's just something ain't adding up. Stop speaking Taco Bell. No habla español. ¿Tú no habla español? No, chat does have an official language, Riley. You hear it? It's the vibe. It's the language of nature. It's the language of the bullshitter. Our official language is all of us ease. Down in Mississippi. Not so. No, not the right key. It was down in Mississippi, not so long ago, when a young man from Chicago town walked in a southern door. Tragedy we should all remember well. The color of his skin was black, and his name was Emmett Till. Some men, they dragged him to a barn, and there they beat him up. They said they had a reason, but I can't remember what. They tortured him and did some things too evil to repeat. There was screaming sounds from inside the barn. There was laughing out on the street. They threw his body down a gulch amidst the blood-red rain, and they threw all waters wide to cease his scream in pain. Oh, the reason that they tortured him, and I'm sure it ain't no lie, 'cause the color of his skin was black. They thought he was born to die. And then to stop these United States from yelling for a trial, two brothers, they confessed that they had murdered this innocent child. But the jury were the men that helped the brothers commit this awful crime. And so this trial was a body seemed to mind. You can't speak out against this kind of thing, a crime which is so unjust. Your eyes must be filled with dead man's clay, and your heart must be filled with dust. Your arms and legs, they must be in shackles and chains, and your blood, it must refuse to flow, 'cause you let these United States sink down so awful low. This kind of song is just a reminder to remind your fellow man that this kind of thing still lives today in that ghost road Ku Klux Klan. But if all us folks who thinks alike, if we give all we can give, well, we might make this great land of ours a greater place to live. There's another Dylan song I want to look up real quick. Okay, I'm going to try this. Hopefully it works. Chills, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, let's see if this works. Okay, hold on. I gotta get closer. Alrighty. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to use worth saving, then you better start swimming, or you sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changin'. And critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide the chance, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in span, and there's no telling what's its naming, 'cause the loser now will be later to win, 'cause the times they are a-changin'. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who is tall. A battle outside raging will soon shake your windows and rattle your halls, for the times they are a-changin'. That's as much of the lyrics as I can see. Hold on. I fucking appreciate. Hold down real quick. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Reset. Alrighty. Reset the stream. But give me 1 second. I pulled up the rest of the lyrics, so I'm gonna look at those now and finish the song real quick. The mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command, and your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can lend a hand, for the times they are a-changin'. Line it is drawn, the curse it is cast, and the slow one now will later be fast, as the present one now will later be, as the present one now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changin'. For the times they are a-changin'. I love that song. Aw, fuck yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for your support. Y'all are fucking kind as shit. I've got the best community. For the times they are changing. Well, did the Jenkem market at least loosen up, Glitch Dash? Did the Jenkem market loosen up any, by any chance? Fuck, I wonder if I pulled up the lyrics to that song, if I could actually play it. Jenkem Brew Imminent 9. Alrighty. I got you guys. Can do the song. Still falling, breathless and on again. Inside today, beside me today. Around, broken into, till your eyes shed into dust. Like two strangers turning into dust, till my hand shook the way I feel. I could possibly be falling, or have something more to gain. I could feel myself growing older. I could feel myself under your fate, under your fate. It was you, breathless and tall. Feel my eyes turning into dust, into strangers, turning into dust, turning into dust. Everybody knows a little Mazzy Star, but how many people know that one? Because, see, everybody knows. I want to hold the hand inside you. I want to take a breath that's true. I look at you and I see nothing. I look to you and see the truth. I close your eyes, you go into silence. Good old Mazzy. Strange, you never knew. To you, think it's strange, you never knew. I think I'm tired, y'all. I think I'm tired. I think it's been a long night, a fun night, a long run, good run, but boy, am I tired. We didn't talk about piss, shit, or cum tonight, but we got a Mazzy Star tune, and that's still a huge W in my book. And we didn't talk about shit, piss, or cum tonight, which is a huge W in my book. I am out of cigarettes in both of my packs, and I've taken another 10 years off of my lifespan. Ah! I'm not! But you guys aren't going to get that one. That one's for my solitude arc. No, but seriously, thank you guys for hanging out. As always, you guys really fucking showed out for donos tonight, so thank you guys for that. I appreciate it a ton. Every bit I make this month is, like, not every bit of it, but a lot of what the money I make this month is going to be my spending money for the meetup. So I'm really fucking grateful that you guys are, like, showing out for that, because that is tremendously grateful of you. So thank you guys to everybody who donated. Thank you guys to everybody who gave your time to chat or to participate or watch. Yeah, good night, everybody. Thank you guys for hanging out.